It is time for you guys to get to ask questions.
Hi. What was it like coming to the sequel knowing the first one was so successful versus when the first one no one knew what it was?
Good question.
Really good question. Dove?
I think always, every time, Dove. I think that for me, what I felt was in the first film, because there was a bit of a pressure because we were inventing new characters that had never been, nobody had had permission to build them before, but they were coming from such heritage characters that we were in a way embellishing on really classic stories. Mm-hmm. So there was a bit of a pressure, but also not really because nobody knew, like you said. And I think we didn't expect the reaction. So this time there was almost more freedom because we just went out doing exactly what was natural to us in the first film. And the fact that people responded well just gave us even more leeway to just go even further into our natural instincts. So
I was going to say, too, the fans, you really need to know how important you are. Those of you that are here that are real fans, Descenders, that you really are important. And I think if there's any challenge, the biggest one, I think for everyone, for the writers, for the studio, for the actors, for myself as a director, I think that it's that we want to serve you and that we want to, we want to make a movie that takes you to the next part of our adventure that satisfies you and that gives you all that you're hoping for. And I think that that was our biggest goal, was to come up to your expectations.
What was the challenging part in the movie? Like, what was like the hardest and the easiest in the movie?
Cameron?
Yes. I always say the hardest part, well, I think physically the hardest part is after that 3 weeks of rehearsal when you can't move your body. You literally get out of bed and you're like moving your legs.
Your muscles
like I
are
can't
locked.
move them. It's insane. It's really weird actually how stiff and tense your body gets, which and it's interesting too though because it's kind of like joking, but we still have to dance and we still have to act. So we have to take care of our bodies. We have to go and get massages and go and make sure we do Epsom salt baths and sleep really warm, and like there are things that we have to do outside of set. So it's really just the maintenance and like keeping up with the schedule, and that's probably the most important and the most difficult. And then the easiest would probably be, I think coming in, you don't really know how you're gonna gel with certain people. You're not really sure if the chemistry is really gonna be there, and that your scene partners are gonna give you everything that you want, and that you're gonna give that in return. And I think the easiest part for this project was just that it was really easy
We're
to
obsessed with each
be
other.
with these people. Yeah, that was probably the easiest part.
Awesome.
You don't want to say that the hardest part was sword fighting?
That was difficult as well.
Yeah, because we had to learn like positions.
Yeah.
That was
insane.
hard.
1, 2,
Three,
or 4.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, and that's just one side of it.
Yeah.
You gotta learn the whole
Yeah, you
thing.
gotta learn. Then you gotta learn and defending at that
And
point.
then they're like 1, 3, 5, 7, defend.
We're like, wait, nobody talked about this. Chronological order, people.
Yeah, we are actors.
I know. But I think one of the hardest parts for me was moving from the rehearsal space onto the actual set. Because during rehearsal, you have all of the space. You're on a soundstage, and then you move onto a ship, and then you don't have that much space, So that was one of the hardest parts for me.
If you could change one part of the movie, which part would it be?
That was the cutest question I've ever heard in my life.
But you guys, you all have to answer the question
Together.
at the same time.
Okay.
Great.
Wait,
Okay,
so
so
I
basically,
think that
I think
I would like to do that to
I would
the core,
change.
like a little
Don't you spit
melody
on
of
me.
it. That would
You guys
be
are adorable. That was so cute. I forgot the question. Well,
No.
If you could change one.
You could change what? Let's all say it at the same time, too.
Hey, Booboo,
Okay.
come on, Booboo. What
Yeah,
would you
Booboo.
change?
Talk, Booboo.
Okay, if I could change.
Talk, Booboo,
what would
talk.
it be? Well, okay. I don't want to give too much away,
I know.
But there's a little hint at the playing of Rotten to the Core. Like you just hear it a second for like the slightest bit, and I really like that song. And when you hear it in the movie, I really every time I've seen the movie, I really want the song to continue on and to drop into like the full bit, and it doesn't. And
Okay, Booboo, Descendants 3.
Descendants 3.
I know.
Descendants
I
3.
feel like it should.
Rotten to the core.
I feel like it should.
Honestly, I have never thought about that question before. But now that I'm thinking about it, I guess for me, there was such a huge emotional dilemma in the first one with like the idea of letting your parents down. Like that's just something that's beaten into us since we're born, you know? Like you don't want to let your parents down. I mean, it's like we don't want to let Kenny down. It's like the same thing. It's like that would be the worst feeling. And so that's something that's really difficult to fight against. And I think I wanted more of that for Mal in this one, because in this one it's a bit more like she's growing up and she's fighting against her own nature versus her new circumstance. But I think I wanted a bit more of that, and maybe in Descendants 3, if there is one, I'd love to explore that again, because that never leaves you. You know, you never want to let your parents down, no matter how old you get, or if you're in junior year or sophomore year, you know.
Well, that is all the time we have, unfortunately. The cast has to run. But we wanted to thank everyone so much for
Thank
coming
you.
out today.